Hey guys, Bill Strong. I'm here at Virginia Tech. If you didn't see the hokey thing, we're here at Virginia Tech at the Virginia Tech Grand Touring team who recently participated in the VIR 12-hour on the South course. So who do we have here?
Tyler Besso, graduated mechanical engineering. We all are this coming semester.
Talk loud now.
I'm Doug Gerbel, co-captain with Tyler. I'm Clayton Welch.
I'm Travis Kingery. I was the powertrain sub-team lead.
Cool. What was your job?
I was on the safety telemetry. I was in charge of the data acquisition telemetry stuff on the car.
Cool. What'd you do?
Co-captain. So
you just stood around?
Management. And driver.
Logistics, driving, management, helping out where needed.
Yeah. Cool. We have other people here. What's your name?
Steve Southward.
And what do you do?
I'm the faculty advisor for the team.
You're the man in charge.
Yeah. Vince Laparo. You might know me from the homeschool team. This was my senior design project. I co-founded the team with Dr. Southward, and I was in charge of vehicle compliance when I was a student.
Cool. So guys, so was that your first? That wasn't your first race, right?
It wasn't mine.
It was yours?
Yeah, it's my first
race that I drove it. Yeah.
So, was it everything you expected?
Everything and more.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun.
So the car did pretty well.
Yeah.
You finished higher than any other team before you had finished. So what do you think was different between this time and in the past? What did you do differently?
We definitely built off of last year's team in terms of they had to lay the groundwork of things like the fire suppression of the cage, so we could focus on maybe squeezing a little bit more horsepower out of it, or Travis, or like really fine-tuning everything in the engine and the exhaust, and kind of like little tweaks rather than like huge overall system tweaks. Again, we stand on the shoulders of giants, so
And keeping it simple too. That's what it is. Yeah, reliability is number one in endurance race, as always.
Right.
So, yeah, keeping it simple.
Yeah, building it for reliability, and we had a culmination of everything that every other team has done before us, so that really helped us out a lot. Keeping everything in a logbook that we have.
Cool. And you did telemetry and stuff, or
I was a powertrain.
Powertrain, yeah.
Yeah, so again, just saying what they said, just making sure you take care of the car for 12 hours, not necessarily have to turn the fastest lap times, but just make sure you stay out there the whole time, get as many laps in as you can.
Who has the specs on the car?
2.2 liter Subaru Impreza.
EJ22.
It's been cut up.
Started as a wagon.
Made into a race car. It's kind of come back to a wagon-ish. That was for more airflow, but.
So I saw you guys had done some you'd taken a model, and you kind of done some wind tunnel testing with it.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
So who was in charge of that?
I did a lot of it. You know, obviously the aero guys. You know, the guys that did the passive aero and active aero, they were both there. Vehicle Dynamics was there. You know, put some aero attaches to it. Worked out really well, surprisingly.
So what you learned in the wind tunnel, did it apply on track? Did it do everything you wanted to on track? Have you been able to get that from it yet?
Not
or
yet.
Did it just understeer like a bear?
Well, it didn't understeer crazy, but as far as drag went, we actually got a 30% reduction in drag in the wind tunnel. So, you know, we don't really know exactly on the actual car. I have to do some more testing for that.
Right.
But, which we will be doing in the next few weeks, but...
Yep.
But that's huge, 30%.
I know, 30%. It was just so much turbulent airflow that was going inside the back wagon that was just cut up, you know.
I'm not sure what the wing offset of that thing is.
That's a pretty heavy-duty wing, too.
Yeah, it is.
But it's same size that we use on our MR2s and the 240 SX. So, but that helps you in the corners.
It did.
So, and you guys have a drag reduction setup, but it's not working, right? Or
we were going to have an active aero setup that went off the brake, you know, the brake pedal, but we just didn't have time to really get it going. But we'll try to get that going just for the sake of completion. Yeah.
just because that's your grade, right?
Yeah, it's my good.
So you guys use this as coursework, right?
Coursework. It's our homework. Yep.
So explain that to us.
So there's a number of assignments. This goes through, it's a year-long process of the class, and there's different assignments going through for different ideas that you want to do, concept generation, and then narrowing down the concepts, establishing criteria for how much you complete the concepts or how much you complete the goals that you set forth in the beginning. And ours is kind of non-traditional in the fact that there's a lot of projects involved. It's not really one design or one project. A lot of the senior designs are designing, say, a stand-up table for adaptability shooting for persons with persons with disabilities or persons with special needs. So there's a lot more going on in that. So in that aspect, we're really lucky to have Dr. Southward, who can kind of help us and say, okay, this is what they're looking for, or this is how we should be handling these assignments, even though our project is markedly bigger than some of the others.
Right. So what's the difference between this and Formula SAE, other than the car itself? I mean, is there a structure difference in how you work it?
I know Formula has a lot more,
Formula definitely has a much more in-depth structure.
They have a lot more money too, don't they?
They have a lot more money, a little bit more.
They have a lot more money and a lot more name recognition. I was briefly on Formula, and it just wasn't really something that I wanted to continue. So I actually wandered down the hallway and found some of the other previous design teams that helped to lead to this. I'm sure you guys have had some experience with Formula as well.
Yeah.
It just seems to be a lot more dense and a lot more management.
It's a lot slower too. We have a lot more freedom in terms of design criteria. It's like, oh, let's do this, let's do that, going back and forth. Otherwise, we felt like in Formula that we were pretty set. The design was kind of given to you almost.
Yeah.
So
from my experience with Formula SAE as well, it's you have one driver. Here you got to have more drivers.
Exactly.
So how did you choose the drivers? Biggest guy?
No. So actually, we went to Smart Road, Virginia Tech Transportation Institute. They do a whole lot of transportation safety, testing there, and they were nice enough to give us some time at their testing facility, so that we set up our own little mini track, and we did some whole driver selection process.
We were able to go through and run different laps and compare times.
So you guys basically had the fastest laps.
Not necessarily.
There were other criteria as well.
Oh, okay.
There was a matrix that it went into in terms of previous experience, the fastest lap time, whether or not you drove manual, whether you fit in the cage or not. That was an issue in the past where drivers who wanted to go, their head was above the hoop in the cage, and
you can't do that.
It's not us. Like it's a safety issue.
Yeah.
So
and safe driving habits too.
Yeah.
Making sure that you're downshifting properly.
Right. The car's actually going to last 12 hours. You're not just like ham fisting everything.
We have footage of all that. We reviewed it all together.
I do not know what they are talking about.
we had cameras inside. We had cameras inside for the driver selection process, looking at like where your hands were on the wheel when you were trying to shift, whether you left your hand off the wheel for too long. We had a camera facing down at the pedals for whether you were heel toeing or not, whether you held the clutch in for too long, and all those played into determining the driver.
I'm willing to bet you're going to have a lot of team guys, owners, calling you guys up and finding out how you did this testing.
I'm sure they'll be able to get in contact with us somehow.
So was that part of the course too? Or, your course, somebody on the team, was that part of their classwork? Part of the selection?
Oh, well, that's one of the things I did. Yeah. It's not really a project. It's just one of the things, I took the responsibility to just come up with it, had everyone review it. Everyone's like, yep, that looks good. Went on for it. Yep.
Cool.
Well, I think it is part of the project because the goal is to compete in a 12-hour race, and you're doing what you can to make yourself more reliable, make yourself more competitive. So all those kinds of things do roll into the big project as a whole.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Right.
As far as coursework, might not necessarily, the actual mechanical engineering coursework.
Systems engineering, definitely.
That is true. Yeah.
So what other departments work on this? I mean, you guys are all mechanical, or
just mechanical.
Just mechanical?
I know some teams, like the hybrid electric teams, that have some double E kids on there, electrical kids, but we're just pure mechanical.
It's kind of a struggle to get ME projects kind of certified with other departments to get like EEs to help us with wiring or stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of paperwork and stuff you have to go through.
Right.
And it has to be recognized by that college for them to have it count as a capstone project.
Right.
So if it doesn't count towards their capstone project,
why would they be here?
Right? Why do it?
I did find when I was on the team that we could get other students to volunteer with us, even if it didn't count towards credit. It was something they could put on a resume.
All right. Once you got on track, that was your first time out there. What was your on-track experience other than the first couple of laps, probably being scared to death?
I got out and I can remember driving and just yelling with enjoyment as I was shifting to go faster.
I remember the first time I passed somebody, it was like I finally, got the feel for the track and was able to actually get around somebody, feel like you're actually doing something.
Yeah.
So.
It's tough.
Honestly, there's no better feeling than like plunging into a corner, barely locking the brakes, but fighting getting that inside. Mm-hmm. That's really fun. Yeah, it's not
It's a lot more fun, not really toying with the other people, but I think a lot of people just kind of expect us to just roll over and go to the side and we're student drivers, but it's not my job to let you pass.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make it easy for you to pass me. Like, this is a race.
Yes.
That was a lot of fun, and I think a lot of people were surprised to see that we were, I guess, putting up as much of a hassle as we
I think
were.
once it got night, people were like, "Holy crap, they're still out there!"
Yeah, a lot of people were surprised at how well we did.
Yeah.
That made us feel pretty good.
Did well off the sheer fact that we outlasted a lot of people.
Yeah.
And our lap times were like 5 seconds slower than most people, than most of the teams.
Yeah.
130s.
Yeah, we're
But see,
130,
and you finished 19th.
19th
Yeah.
for 6. So I mean,
Who do you guys have for sponsors?
Probably the biggest one. I did an internship at the Yokohama plant in Salem, Virginia, which is about an hour up 81 North, and I contacted him. I was like, "Hey, this is our project. This is what we're doing." You know, gave him the whole sell it spiel, and they pretty much gave us. They sold us these tires for like $200. They retail for like $1,400.
Yeah.
So that was probably one of the biggest things. Yeah, Delta Cams cut us a real good deal. They reground our cams for like $100. We sent them out all the way out to Washington. It was actually one of the fastest things we got back, believe it or not.
They were really,
Yeah.
send them when you can.
Yeah, he was like, send them out here, we'll get them done, send them back. And they were done way before I was ready to put them in. So,
Cool. And then you guys have a lot of telemetry in there. You have a lot of gauges.
yeah, that doesn't really record much. That's just display. But we have accelerometers, Arduinos. You know about all that stuff too. But
Yeah, we just had we had 2 accelerometers in the back that was running off an auxiliary battery, and they were tracking the axial and lateral G's. We have a race pack system. It was tracking speed and stuff that the ECU puts out.
So what are you guys going to learn from all that, or is that secret?
Well, we're still processing. I mean, so a lot of the testing, we ran some data acquisition on test laps at the Smart Road, and pretty much just trying to see what kind of baseline performance we get from the testing, and then validate it with stuff from the race, and see just how you can actually, it'll draw a GPS map, and it'll show you like what G's you're experiencing where, how fast you're going, stuff like that.
And then another example was, say, constant radius testing. Alex LeBrose, one of the members, his main project was an adjustable rear sway bar. So then testing at a constant speed going around, okay, when does it start to lose? Like, can you get going faster with this setting or this setting, and kind of dialing all that stuff in.
Cool.
and it worked too.
Yeah,
However, I mean,
that was made in-house.
Yep.
That was a homebrew project. It worked, it held, didn't pop.
That's good. Now, everybody knows racing requires funds.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got a lot of our money from like private donors. We actually have a list on the other side of the car of all the people that donated money to us.
And then our biggest source of money is the mechanical engineering department. They give out funds to every single mechanical engineering team. I think they had almost 100 grand to give out to all the teams.
Right.
Depending on your need, how big your team was, all those
We got a
things.
little piece of that.
We got a little piece of that.
Cool.
You know, so.
Yeah, I put out a call to all alumni. Hopefully somebody will answer. They'll see this. Because Virginia Tech alumni is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
You guys are all football players, right? I won't bring up basketball. It's kind of a sore one right now. Sorry, the rest of America. Yeah, for those that don't know, I just retired from the University of Virginia. I think our basketball team did too. So, Vince, you had something you wanted to add?
It's just it's been amazing to see the progress of this team for the first few years that it's been going. I just remember our first year we had that like Smarties green BMW, and the reaction from everybody, it was just support. Everyone, it was so cool to see students racing in a series where there's professionals and amateurs. And I remember like we blew up a motor at VIR, and then Bimmer World helped us find a replacement head in a rush. And then we got the motor swapped, ran in New Jersey, blew up another motor. But then the second year we came back, and late one night before the race, Sri, he gave us some tools and helped us tear down the head. And we ran all weekend, twin 7-hour races.
Yep.
And then we went from that to they sold the car, got the Subaru, and they became competitive. But it's been really amazing to see the trend of progress in this team.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, just seeing them finish was just a highlight, really, because it's difficult. People don't realize how hard an endurance race is. when you look at the pros doing this, they kind of make it easy, but they have the exact same problems that we all have racing, you know, in this series. The only difference is the amount of money they spend, but they have the same breakages. So, you know. So where are you guys from? Where are you from?
I'm from northern New Jersey, Wayne, New Jersey.
Yeah, Northern Virginia.
I'm from Roanoke, Virginia.
Yeah, I'm from Roanoke as also.
So local boys in.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Wait a second.
Check this out.
So they 3D
Here
print
we
their
go.
parts. So a NACA duck.
Yeah. Last year they cut a hole into the hood, wanted the oil coil there, but that was too high, and they're like, no.
That was just a cover up for the.
So we just I was like, all right, let me get one.
It slowed down the car because of the amount of air going. Oh yeah, it will.
The air filter
Yeah.
is like somewhere.
Here.
Yeah, it's got
Yeah.
to pull that air from somewhere now. So.
You know, one of the first hot rods I built back in the 80s was a little Toyota or Nissan pickup, and I thought it would be so cool to get one of those vents and put it on it. Yeah, it didn't do much anything. Filled the underhood with cold air. That was it.
That adds horsepower.
Yes, it does. It needs stickers, though. All right, guys. Thanks for letting us talk to you and come visit you, and good luck in your next race, all right? Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah, it depends.
You need funds?
There's a bunch of different things going on.
They need funds. Virginia Tech. How do they get a hold of you guys?
You can find us on the Facebook page.
Facebook page, Virginia Tech
Okay,
Grand
and we'll
Touring.
link to the Facebook page a little later when I get this up on the internet. So, all right, guys, good luck to you.
Thank you.